1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hi, I'm Sam Holtz. I'm a national junior triathlete, and a few weeks ago I raced my first race of the 2025 season, and that was the British Triathlon Performance Assessments. And in this video I'm going to be taking you through the week before the race, talking about my training and tapering in that week, and then going through a brief description of the race, how it went, how I feel I did well, and how I feel I could have done better. And it's just going to be a chill video, as much for me as it is for you guys. I think it'll be good to look back on it at the end of the season to kind of get an overview of the whole season. I always write a race report from each race I do, but I think it would be nice to do one as a video. So that's what I'm doing here. I will include my talking, the training, and some bits of clips that I got and some photos that I got of the race. I didn't manage to get that much footage of the race. Obviously, I couldn't get any myself. I would be getting it from others, but just photos. But I'll be able to hopefully give you a good description of the race. So we're going to start off on Tuesday, and that was a fairly normal day of training, and we'll jump right in to that. Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 25th of March, 2025, and for the first time in 2025, it is race week. This weekend, I'm going to be racing the British Triathlon Performance Assessments, which is the first race of my season, and it is basically how British Triathlon gets a look at how good all of their athletes are. So the way it's going to work is on Saturday I've got an 800 metre time trial swim, and on Sunday I've got a 20k bike and a 5k run together, so like a triathlon but just with a break between the swim and the bike and run, and you set off at your deficit from first on the swim for the bike run. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling strong, and in this video I'm going to be taking you through my race week, and then my race, and then post-race some reactions from that. So it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. As I said, this is my first race week of 2025, and as it's my first triathlon of this season, it's my first triathlon being coached by Grant Sheldon. I started being coached by him after the end of last season, so I'm super excited for it. I'm super excited for this week leading up to it. It's a bit of a different approach to a race week than I've done before, but I completely trust Grant's judgment on how it's going to work. So as I said, it is Tuesday. Yesterday was a rest day. I did no training at all. I did some work on my bike. I've just got some new wheels, so I had to set them up, put some tyres on, and that was it for yesterday. So no training, but today we have got some training, and we're going to have training leading up to the race, but obviously get smaller and smaller and smaller until we're just doing a 20-minute easy run on Friday before the race. So yeah, super excited for it. I'm going to take it along with me. Today I've got a race pace run session on the track, and that session is a short session. It is 15 minutes steady, 5 minutes gentle build, 3 times 200 meters at race pace, with 3 minutes easy between the reps, and then 10 minutes easy cool down. And then after that, I'm going to be doing a aerobic swim, which is just about 2,800 meters, I think. I haven't actually checked, but that is probably what it'll be for an hour swim. So yeah, just two exciting bits of training today. Nothing too hard. The bits of fast-paced stuff is just short for the swim. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I am looking forward to this race. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling strong, I'm feeling fit. So cannot wait to get racing. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm going to talk you through my tactics for the race maybe later on in the week, what I'm going to be doing, what I'm kind of thinking for the bike, for the run, for the swim, less tactics. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Cannot wait. So it's going to be an exciting video, first race video on this channel. So let's get going and go for the run. Right, so I just finished the warm-up. It was 15 minutes completely steady, and I did that about 4:30 pace, and then 5 minutes gentle build. I did that about 4 minutes pace, and now I'm getting onto the main set, which is 3 times 2 minutes at race pace. So I'm going to aim to do that about 3:15 per k, and then onto the and then the rest is 3 minutes just gentle running, and that's it. So not too much speed, but just a couple minutes, 6 minutes total. Should be good. As I said, aim to do that 3:15 per k pace. So yeah, let's get going. So as I said, I was aiming for a pace of around 3:15 per k for the 3 2-minute intervals. The first one actually ended up being an average of 3:27 per k, the second was 3:14, and the third was 3:15. I think the first one would have been faster than that, just the average was kind of messed up by starting, because obviously I was starting at a slower speed and that included in the average. So I think I was probably running at about 3:50 per k for most of the 2 minutes. And I think I was probably being a little bit optimistic with the pace that I thought I could run off the bike. I wasn't really taking into account the fact that it was going to be a really tough cycle, but overall it was a good session and it was encouraging for how I felt running at that pace. Right, so that is the run session done. Felt pretty good. It's difficult to tell. I didn't feel fatigued. It was good. The rest day yesterday definitely helped a bit, and the pace that I was doing, the race pace, that felt comfortable. So yeah, I guess that's a good sign. It ended up being a total of about 9.47 k in 45 minutes. So yeah, that is a good session. Just a little bit of race pace, very encouraging. Should feel good, and kind of helps me get used to the feeling of running at the right speed for the race. And then now I'm going to do a swim. It is an aerobic swim. It is in fact 3,100 meters. I misjudged how long I thought it'd be. It's just some fairly easy stuff. The main set is 1,500s, with some focusing on different parts of the stroke, some with pull, some with nothing. And then going to get that done, and then that is done for the training for today. So yeah, let's go to the pool and get a swim done. So as you saw, I did an aerobic swim that ended up being 2,600 meters, and I wrote down that nothing outstanding happened. I can't really remember it particularly well. It was a few weeks ago, so I think it went well. 2,600 meters, slightly shorter than my average swim on a weekday, but beginning the taper, gradually cutting down, and I was feeling good. I had a rest day on Monday, which is kind of a little bit unusual for me. I wouldn't normally have a rest day a week out from the race. I'd normally have it 2 or 3 days out, but that was Grant's way of doing it. And yeah, as I said later on in the video, that I was kind of, it's my first race being coached by Grant, so I was kind of trusting his judgment on what is best for the taper, and it worked pretty well. And yeah, as I said, I trusted his judgment. So yeah, the Monday rest day worked well, and I was feeling good for Tuesday. And let's get on to Wednesday. Right, good morning. It is Wednesday morning, and we are now 4 days out from race day. And today is a pretty simple day. All we have got is a short race pace swim. The whole set of the swim is only 1,500 meters. The main set is 5 times 500 meters. 5 times 100 meter at race pace, and that's going to be good. Similar to yesterday, getting a feel for the race pace that I'm going to be swimming at in that 800 meter TT. And the swim is going to be really key for my performance assessment. It's going to be really what decides how well it goes. It depends what my deficit will be for the bike, and how much of that I can make up. So yeah, going to be really focusing on getting a good swim as best I can. The swim is definitely what I'm weakest at, so just trying to make up any few seconds that I can do will make a big difference on the bike and run. So yeah, hopefully that'll go well today, get some good race pace swimming in. Hopefully the pace that I did an 800 meter TT a while ago for the pace, and that was at a 1:28 per 100. So hopefully a run 25 to 1:27 will feel pretty comfortable for today's swim. And this morning so far, I've been sorting out my bike. You saw on Monday that I was setting up my new Hunt wheels and cleaning the bike, so that all worked. Then this morning I was once again going into battle against my tyres. I couldn't get the tyres on Monday, but I finally managed to get them on the wheels. They were super tight to get on the wheels, but I did eventually get them to sit on correctly, and they are all good now. And yeah, the bike is all set up ready for race day in a few days' time. The setup for the bike is a Giant Propeller Advance from 2021 Hunt 50mm carbon wheels. The group set is 105 mechanical. So yeah, going to be super fun to ride on race day. Feels good. Yeah, I'm a big fan of my bike. I like it. The only downside is the handlebars. I've got 44 centimeter handlebars on, and you can't get any thinner ones because they are a specific shape to this giant stem. So they're a bit too wide, so I've got the hoods tucked in to try and get it basically equivalent to like a 38 centimeter handlebar. But yeah, it's very good. Should be fast, and it will hopefully get me a really fast bike time and make up some of the deficit that I'm undoubtedly going to lose on the swim. So yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to it. Today is a simple day, just a race pace swim. I'm a little bit tired this morning. I was up quite late meeting up with some friends, played some spike ball and played some games. So not the best lead up to the race, but you know, that's part of it. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, focusing on resting now for the next couple of days, really trying to make sure I'm as fresh as possible before the race. So yeah, I'm going to go for the swim now and I'll talk to you later. So the Wednesday swim was 1,600 meters, and that was a race pace swim. And I was doing 100 meters at race pace. I did 4 intervals. The intervals times were 1:21, 1:25, 1:25, 1:26. And as I said, that is kind of the pace that I was hoping for. 1:25 would have been pretty much ideal for what I could feel like I could have done for the 800 meter time trial. So yeah, overall that was an encouraging swim, and I did some diving practice at the end, which also was good. I felt like I kind of managed to get a good dive going on. I haven't done much diving before, so I feel like I was pretty locked into those, getting some good distance for a good start, hopefully for a good start in the race. We'll see how that goes later on. A bit of foreshadowing there. And then on to Thursday. Good morning. It is Thursday morning, and it is getting close. It is 2 days till race day, or 1 full day after this until Saturday, or 3 days until Sunday. Today is going to be a fun day. Today I've got a easy swim. I've got a 45-minute cycle session to do, and I'm going to do some bike practice on the track, doing a bit of transition practice and a bit of cornering practice. The course is going to be cornering around a cone, which I'm not really used to. I'm used to hairpins, so it's just a slightly tighter hairpin. I mean, should be good. I'm pretty good at cornering, but I'm going to do a little bit of practice on that on the track. So yeah, I'm going to be fun. I'm also going to be testing out the bike. I haven't actually ridden it since I've got the new wheels, and I've also just testing out how it feels with the new wheels, new brakes, everything, just checking that everything is okay. So yeah, I'm excited. And then later on this afternoon, I've got a video call with Grant. So that is just going to be talking through some tactics, talking through some plans for race day, what he thinks is the best idea for warming up for the swim on the Saturday and the bike run on the Sunday, and any other things he's got for me, for any advice that he's got for me other than that. So yeah, feeling good, feeling excited, feeling awake. Let's get going. I'm going to go in about an hour to go swimming, and from there I will go to the track to cycle on the track and get that cornering practice, transition practice, and just feel for the bike. Now I've got the new wheels, because wheels affect the handling of a bike quite a lot, so it's not ideal that I haven't ridden it, but they're fairly similar to my old wheels, so it should be okay. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Feeling good. As I said, feeling energetic, feeling awake, feeling excited. So yeah, I will see you ready for the swim, and then after that I will take you with me for my little cycling practice, and then this afternoon, video call with Grant and bike session on the turbo trainer. So let's get going. Right, so as I said, I then went to the track to do some transition and cornering practice. I did that after doing a short swim. The swim was 1,200 meters in 20 minutes, and then it was time to do some transition and cornering practice. And as I said, I'm already pretty confident in transition. I feel like I've kind of got that nailed after a couple of years of doing triathlon. The bit of transition that I'm least confident is in T2, getting my feet in the pedals. The ideal way of doing it is jumping on your bike and getting your feet right in the pedals, but that is quite difficult to do, so I kind of settled on just taking a few pedal strokes with my feet sat on the pedals, getting up to speed, then putting my feet in the shoes, which is faster. It's slightly less fast than putting the feet straight in the shoes, but faster than kind of having to mess around with them without pedaling. So that was what I settled on. I think that was a good idea. I also practiced some cornering around a cone, and as I said, I'm pretty confident cornering already, and this kind of helped me feel even more confident. I knew that I could get around at a pretty fast speed, and actually the course at the actual race ended up being really, really wide, so I had loads of room to go into the corner and exit the corner going pretty fast. Actually more room than I did practicing it on the track. And the wheels felt really good. The wheels affect the handling of a bike quite a lot, and these felt a lot better than my last wheels. Actually felt like I could put way more weight on them going around the corners, and it felt like they were stable, felt like they were fast. That could be placebo, it could not be, but either way it helped. And yeah, that was a good time. Enjoyed doing some transition practice. It's probably my favourite part of triathlon, to be honest. It was good fun, kind of the thrill of it, and yeah, good fun. And then after that I did a turbo session at home. That just ended up being 45 minutes. Did some 2-minute power efforts at race pace, and then did some 30-second bits at race pace, and that was good. Felt strong again. Overall, my bike fitness was in a great place going into this race. Feeling good, feeling great, feeling confident. So now, on to the next day. So now on to Friday, and I have very little footage from this point onwards. I actually did the video call with Grant on Friday to talk through nutrition and tactics and kind of the mental state I should be going into the race and how I'm going to do the warm-up and everything. And yeah, I kind of hadn't really thought through the nutrition that much before that point, but we came up with a good plan for what I'm going to eat when at different points before the race, kind of 3 hours out, 1 hour out. I also did a shakeout run, and that was my first run with my New Balance Fuel Cell Super Comp Pacer V2s, and they had a much higher stack height than my previous ones, which were the V1s of those shoes, and they felt amazing. Like, I haven't run with high stack height shoes before, and even running easy on that shakeout run, I could really feel the difference, like so much more propulsion, so much more energy return at each step. And yeah, I think that made a big difference. I was just trying to run easy for this shakeout run on Friday, but I was actually struggling because it felt so fast and good with those shoes on. So I ended up doing 3.03 kilometers in 15 minutes and 21 seconds. So I did manage to go slowly, but I did a few little sprints, a little bit of strides, just to kind of test out the shoes because they were feeling pretty good. Now on to Saturday. It is a race day. I also did another shakeout run on that day, also in my Super Comp Pacer shoes. I wanted to test them out as much as I could before the actual race. It wasn't ideal that they only arrived on Friday, so I couldn't do any race pace efforts. So it was just another easy run. That was 2.92k in 14 minutes and 26 seconds, and yeah, I was feeling good. The race was in the afternoon. The swim was at 7:38 in the evening. So, and we didn't have to leave till about 4, or we didn't leave till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So kind of before that, I was kind of trying to be in a good headspace, thinking about the race, but not overthinking about the race, kind of stay calm and trying to do the shakeout run. And I think I managed to do well. The day didn't feel like I was kind of sitting around doing nothing, but then also didn't feel like I was being too busy. So then we set off for the race. I had my pesto pasta for lunch, and then drove over to Nottingham. And the race, as I said, was at 7:38. I feel like I did a good warm-up. Started warming up about 45 minutes before the race. Felt locked in, had my music, and did some jogs, did some stretches with a elastic band, and was feeling good, feeling warm until registration at about 7:15, and I started chatting to one of the other guys that I knew who was doing the race. And at that point, I feel like I got pretty locked out, kind of lost focus, wasn't feeling really locked in to the race, wasn't feeling kind of not motivated, wasn't feeling kind of, didn't have the good kind of nerves before the race that you kind of want to have. I was feeling a bit too relaxed. Then we got in for the warm-up, and we had 2 minutes to warm up, and we actually were meant to have 3 or 4, but we only had 2 because the set-off time was exactly at 7:38. So I got in the pool. I talked about in the video call with Grant the day before doing 100 meters easy, with 25 meters race pace in that for the warm-up, and I set off doing 25 race pace, 25 easy, getting back to the start of the 25-meter pool, and then I set off for another 100. And as I set off, I kind of did the maths in my head. Hang on, I've only got 2 minutes before the race starts, and I'm swimming easy, so that's only going to be like a 140 100, so it's going to leave me 20 seconds. So I was like, oh, hang on, I need to get on a bit. So I swam a bit fast to try and get back on time, so I got out of the pool with 30 seconds to spare before the race started. And I was a bit out of breath, and I was a bit like, hang on, that wasn't good. Why did I do 100? I should have just done 50. And then the race started, and I kind of had a few seconds before the race started to kind of get my breath back, and was thinking, oh, really should not have done 100 warm-up. And the whistle blew. I had a great diving start, was way ahead of everybody else I could see. Apparently I must have had a phenomenal dive, and because of that I saw no one else was next to me. I was like, hang on, did I full start? Was the whistle actually not the start? Was the whistle kind of a pre-start? Was that an on your marks? Which obviously I know, thinking about it, that it's not. The whistle is always go, but in a race, you kind of overthink that, and I didn't actually think about it. I didn't think through logically, I just thought. So I stopped, looked around behind me to see if anyone else had started, and everybody else had started because that was the start and I had a good start. So I lost a few seconds there, had to kind of take a few strokes to get back up to speed, which was frustrating because I had a good dive that got me up to a good speed. And then the rest of the race was kind of a nightmare. The first 200 meters were good. I was pretty locked in. The guy who timed my lane gave me the splits at the end, and I only could remember the first 200s, which were 119. I can't remember what you said the rest of them were. They slowed down quite a lot. So yeah, the first 200s were good. I was feeling locked in. That was a pace that I feel like I probably could have held for the whole 800 meters if I had been locked in. At 300 meters, my swim cap started coming off. Gradually started rolling up my head, which was an absolute nightmare. It meant I lost count of lengths because I was kind of couldn't stop thinking about my swim hat gradually coming off, and it was pretty uncomfortable. And I just felt like I couldn't really swim hard, which was a bit of a pain. We haven't really worked out why that was. I just couldn't really push myself. I don't know if it was a mental thing or a physical thing, but yeah, I just wasn't actually going that hard. But when I tried to go hard, I just couldn't. My swim hat then came out off probably about 600 meters. Probably fell off, so it was just my goggles. And then I was kind of swimming, trying to push hard, couldn't. Thinking I had like 150 meters left was when he put in the the kickboard, which shows that I only have 50 left. So last 50, I was like, oh heck, why? This should have been a really hard 800 meters. I should have made up every second I could to try have not a big deficit for Sunday. And I did a big last 50, but even then, after it finished, I just wasn't that out of breath. I wasn't that tired. I just was kind of confused about what had happened, and it had gone so quickly, and yet I hadn't felt like I was going that hard. So I really had no idea how it had gone. Before he told me the time, he could have told me absolutely anything, and I would not have known if he was. Yeah, I could not have guessed what time I did, and I ended up doing a 11:14, which before the race I would have absolutely taken that time. But now, knowing how it felt, I felt like I could have gone faster. But after that, I kind of had to put that out of my head. Try not to think about it, just think about the day ahead. And that 11:14 put me in 52nd place out of 54 in the race. So not ideal, but I knew I was going to be near the back. So I managed to kind of not think about that on the Saturday evening. We drove back home. And yeah, I managed to kind of just think about the race ahead, knowing that I would have to make up a lot of places on the bike and run. So now on to Sunday, we drove again to the place where it was happening, some airfield down south, near Nottingham, about an hour away from Nottingham. And it was a super, super windy day. That is probably the main thing I can remember from the race, just the amount of wind. So we started, did a good warm-up, all was going well, all was going smoothly, the nutrition went well, and the race started, and the way it works is they start the timer from the fastest swimmer's time, and you wait until you get to your time before you set off. And yeah, again, I knew I was going to be near the back, and I was definitely very far from the front, so took a while, was waiting a while, but still managed to not feel... I felt far more locked in on this race than I did on the Saturday. So yeah, set off for the bike all on my own pretty much, and it was super, super, super windy and a technical course, and set off for the bike, was already overtaking people within like 2 minutes, catching people that were slower cyclists, and that was kind of the theme for the whole cycle, was catching people throughout. And every time I caught someone, I was hoping that I'd be able to work with them, because obviously in the wind, working with somebody else helps a lot, but nobody was strong enough. I would pretty much drop them all instantly. I would try, go ahead of them, drag them on for a bit, hoping I'd eventually be able to take a turn with them, but no one was strong enough. So pretty much the whole bike was just catching people. I can't remember exactly how many places I made up. I think it was like 15 or 16. I could probably do the maths, but I can't do that right now. I'll put it up on screen, how many places I made up on the bike. And I eventually caught a group right at the end, but it was too late to actually work with them. Literally, like, I caught them with 100 meters to go. So into T2, and T2 is normally my speciality. I quite often get the fastest T2 of the day, so I'm pretty confident in it. I can get a good fast time, racking my bike, get my running shoes on. In this case, my helmet normally you'd put your helmet on the floor in T2, but in this case you had to hang it up either on your handlebars or your saddle. And I went to hang it up on my saddle because I put my bike on forwards to the rack, so that was the only thing I could hang it up on. And I dropped it, I think, twice, so I lost probably 10 seconds there. It doesn't really matter, but kind of for myself, I like to get a fast T2, so didn't get that this time, but really not that big of a problem. Maybe lost 5-10 seconds. Then out of T2, set off pretty rapidly in my new shoes, feeling fast, and I could really feel the hard 20k cycle in my legs. If I'd been in a group, it would have been a different story, but I'd had to push so hard to try and make up those spaces and was in the wind for every minute of the 20k rather than being able to sit in a group, which was obviously a shame, but that is the case when you are a slow swimmer. So yeah, onto the run, feeling really tired, heart rate already really high, and just really had to hang on for as fast as I could for a 5k run. And yeah, I managed to get a decent time, maybe not as fast as I'd hoped. If I'd had a different cycle where I'd been in a group, I would have been a different story, but I managed to do a 17:26 5k, paced it pretty well. I think I kind of had a few stomach issues, feeling a bit sick, but that wouldn't have slowed me down too much. It was really just, that was the limit that I could get to after that bike and that run. So yeah, as I said, a 17:26 5k, which got me a time, the 17th fastest time of the day, and that ended up coming 29th out of 54. So kind of looking at the performance, obviously a 29th out of 54 isn't, I would have hoped to have maybe done a little bit better, but looking at the performance, I feel like I did as well as I could, especially on the Sunday. The Saturday I could have done better, but the Sunday I really think I did everything I could to get the best I could on with what happened on the Saturday, if that makes sense. I did the best with what I had. So yeah, some lessons learned really motivated me to get to being a better swimmer, because I had the 20th fastest cycle of the day, and that was all on my own. So if I'd been in a group, I would have easily been able to hang on. I would have been comfortable in all of those groups, and probably would have been able to make an attack. So yeah, 20th fastest time of the day in a draft legal race where I was on my own for the whole thing, and it was super windy. I'm pretty proud of that. And then a 17th run off that, 17th fastest run off that, again, pretty proud of that. And so yeah, really just the 52nd fastest swim that let me down there. So yeah, great fun, good first race of the season. I feel like the taper went well, I feel like the nutrition went well. Something went weird on the Saturday, I was locked out, but Sunday I was locked in, did the best with what I could. And yeah, overall enjoyed it, great race experience, really happy to be racing back in 2025, loving draft legal racing, and really hoping I can be able to get in a group in my next race. Talking of my next race, that is on the 10th of May, and it is part of what I was doing the performance assessment for, is for qualifying for the Super Series, and the first round of the Super Series is Llanelli, or Llanelli, I don't know how to say it, it's in Wales, and I have got into that race from the performance assessment. I'm in the Tier 2 race, and so that hopefully means I should be able to get a pretty good race result. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. As I said, it's kind of just a kind of more chill video, talking through my thoughts, what I feel, how the race went, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, that's great, but also if you didn't, and I'm sure it'll be useful for me to look back on at the end of the season and in seasons to come, just to kind of listen to my thoughts and feelings post-race and learn from my mistakes. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know, and stay tuned for some more videos. I'll do another week of training pretty soon, and I'll hopefully be able to do more of these race reviews with races to come. As I said, Llanelli in a few weeks' time, I'll do that, and then hopefully more Super Series and more other kinds of races. Super exciting, really enjoying it, and super motivated from that performance, knowing that with a better swim, I'd be in a really, really good spot. So yeah, great times. Happy Easter, and I'll see you all later. Bye.
Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, since the flood.